everybody. Welcome to another amazing Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for an amazing Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
Hello, my name is Kevin.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. All right, guys. I hope that you are having an amazing Friday. Today's a little bit on the gloomier side, but it's okay because we got some Youth Connect news that we want to share with you today. And it's going to be a lot of fun. For those who don't know, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that is more than just sharing stories. We are creating a platform of inclusion and acceptance one episode at a time. On top of that, we are all advocates for all abilities, and as broadcasters and entertainers, we want to be included in opportunities for acting jobs, directing, writing, chefs, speakers, artists, you know what they say, and musicians. If you give us an opportunity, we definitely want to try it out. I know that Youth Connect is going to be a show that you are going to love, and if you guys know, the first thing that we always have to bring off or start off with is some gaming news. All right. So I was looking through and I was trying to think to myself, what could I bring to the table that is interesting gaming news? And I had to figure out for a second because you know what? There's some re-releases, some remasters, but there wasn't anything fresh. That's until I found a brand new game called Death Note Killer Within. So, what is Death Note Killer Within? If you've ever played Among Us, this game follows that exact same kind of thing. Death Note Killer Within is an online social deduction game for up to 10 players. Players will be split into two teams with different objectives. To win the game, players will need to figure out each other's identities and either eliminate L, who threatens Kira's power, or seize the Death Note. You will be enjoying a battle of wits as Kira and his follower, or as L and the investigators in the world of Death Note. As equally matched opponents, the two teams clash to control the game while hiding their true identities from each other. The Death Note is hidden among the players, leading to a thrilling game of cat and mouse until one team overpowers the other. Each role has its own characteristics, allowing you to master a deep sense of strategy and tactical play. Depending on your assigned role, a wide range of strategies can be formulated, and each randomized scenario develops into a high-stakes game of tactics. So it's actually quite interesting. I think it's nice to see a fresh take on Among Us, but I guess I shouldn't call it Among Us. It's its own game in a sense. It's an online social deduction game. If you like playing those games where you have to figure out who is who, then I recommend that you check out Death Note Killer Within. It has crossplay for large groups of players, and you can customize your game avatar with up to 7 types of unlockable items, custom nameplates, and select special animations to be displayed during dramatic moments of gameplay. It's interesting. It looks like a lot of fun, and it is on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So whichever one you choose, whichever console you're on, I recommend that you check it out. Anyways, though, next up is Kevin with some all-important news, sports, and weather, but more importantly, that interesting fact that's going to be shared. What's it going to be?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Connect News, which I bring news, sports, weather, and your favorite interesting facts. I'm your host, Kevin Aruja, so let's get right into the headlines. The Taylor Swift kicked off Final 3 Toronto shows as Eras Tour heads towards the final. Rogers Sports and Media cuts a few dozen jobs in his audio businesses. Toronto author Anne Michaels wins Gilded Prize for a novel book called Held. And the lockers used by Ronaldo, Beckham, and other Real Madrid stars are up for auction. The Taylor Swift is throwing another party in Toronto as her celebrated Eras Tours heads into its final 3 nights in the city. The pop superstar will pack the Rogers Centre full of Swifties tonight, Friday, and Saturday. She will head to Vancouver for the last 3 shows of her tour, performing at BC Place from December 6th to 8th. The Eras Tours has drawn thousands of Swifties to Toronto as they hope to experience celebrations around the shows and, in some cases, more case score last-minute tickets. But has also attracted a considerable number of fraudsters looking to capitalize on the demand by asking people to send back e-transfers for fake tickets. The Eras Tours has touched down in the five continents and will have clocked nearly 150 performances by the time it's over. The concerts have left a big impression on the streets of downtown, where fans gather dressed in a Swift-themed outfit to celebrate the singer. Monaris said on Thursday that during the first three shows from November 14th to 16th, spending in downtown Toronto increased 57% week over week across all categories. The payment services provider said international spending more than doubled as tourists flocked to the city, particularly drawn to movies and theatrical productions. It added that Swift's influence appeared to extend to retail, with a 32% increase in clothing store sales and a 78% spike in purchases at accessory stores as fans put finishing touches in their concert outfits. However, Monaris found that the restaurant spending remained stable, although snack shops saw a 61% bump. The CIBC chief economist, Avery Schenfeld, questioned the overall impact of Swifties on economic activity, saying that there is less than meets the eye when it comes to earlier predictions that the concert could bring hundreds of millions of dollars in tourist spending. He also suggested gross spending on hotels has been overstated because the rooms wouldn't have all sat empty. He also said it's unlikely that T-shirts and other Swift memorabilia getting a sales boost when manufactured in the country. The Rogers Sports and Media has cut a few dozen jobs in its audio business amid what it describes as an unpredictable advertising market that has led to declining revenue. Declining revenue. Sorry about that. The company said on Wednesday that the job cuts reflect the need to face that reality and adjust our operating expenses in order to compete in a changing environment. Roger has 56 radio stations across the country. It also has a podcast and streaming audio network. The company said that there would be no closure at the part of a move, as all radio stations, programming, and podcasts would continue to run. Last month, Rogers' chief executive Tony Staffery told the conference call with a financial analyst to discuss the company's third quarter results that Rogers Sports and Media had a strong quarter during the 3 month period ended on September 30th. The company said media revenue increased 11% in the quarter compared with the same time last year, although that it was primarily as a result of a higher sports-related revenue. In October 2023, Rogers closed the City News Ottawa radio station, formerly known as 1310 News, and laid off newsroom staff, citing dwindling audience and regulatory challenges. The company said fewer than 10 employees were affected, and the outlet would maintain an online presence supported by two digital reporters. Rogers also offered voluntary departure packages to some employees last year amid an integration with Shaw Communications Incorporated after the closure of its $26 billion purchase of the company. An internal memo says most corporate and line of business employees up to the senior director level of the company could apply for the package, but in the company has said sports and media staff, including on-air talent, producers, directors, writers, and media technology operators were not eligible. Most employees in customer-facing jobs were also excluded from that eligibility. Toronto poet, novelist Anne Michaels appealed for unity in Canada's arts community on Monday night as she accepted the Gillers Prize, an award boycotted by several prominent Canadian authors over its sponsors tied to Israel. Michaels won the 100,000 fiction prizes. Michael won the $100,000 fiction prize for her novel Held, a multi-generational took at something else more than a century. The jury cited the novels as an impactful and hypnotic exploration of mortality, resilience, and desires. In her speech, Michael called the growth of Canadian literature in recent decades one phenomenal assertion. The ceremony went off without any disruptions after last year's gala was met by pro-Palestinian demonstrators, fueling a boycott of a prominent award and sending a shockwave through Canada's literary scene. Demonstrators, including dozens of Canadian authors who pulled their books from prize contention this year, have called on the Giller Foundation to drop sponsors which ties to Israel, including Scotiabank due its stake manufac- in the Israeli arms manufacturer Elbit Systems. Instead of airline live on CBC as in previous years, the ceremony was pre-taped. Speakers avoided any specific mention of the protest, though some appeared to allude to them. Ian Williams, the 2019 Giller winner and the night's first presenter, said the world had changed significantly since the prize has handed out last year. Held, which was also nominated from this year's Booker Prize, is only Michael's third novel in a decades-long career. Her first fugitive pieces came out in 1996, a full decade after her debut poetry collection, The Way of Oranges. The gala and its protest followed renewed criticisms from former winner Madeleine Tien, who posted a letter on Twitter over the weekend that asked prize organizers to remove her name, image, and work from his website and promotional material over the controversy. And now in sports news, it's a sports fan perfect storage solution. Metal lockers that once held the sweat-stained shirts and muddy cleats of some of the world's greatest soccer players are up for auction. Sotheby's is selling 24 lockers from the dressing room of historic club Real Madrid, used by the team between 2000 and 2022. They were removed from the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium during renovations. They went on public display on the auctioneer's London showrooms on Wednesday. The storage spaces once used by players including Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Zinedine Zidane, Sergio Ramos, and Luis Figo are being sold individually with bidding starting at $12,600 apiece. The lockers and other artifacts from the team are open for online bidding until November 26th in a sale at a joint venture between Sotheby's and the Real Madrid memorabilia partner Pursuit 3 Marketing Group. Sotheby's said a portion of the auction the auction proceeds will be donated to the club's charitable Real Madrid Foundation. Sotheby's sports and modern collectibles specialist Brandon Hawks said it was a privilege to offer these historic relics that give the public a glimpse behind the gilded curtain of the legendary Santiago Bernabeu and one of the world's most decorated football clubs. It also the latest sign that the world of sports memorabilia is booming and spreading to beyond the traditional mainstays of shirts and soccer balls. In August, Sotheby's sold Kobe Bryant's locker from an LA Staples Center for 2.9 million US dollars. The all-time record from an item of sports memorabilia belongs to the Jersey Babe Ruth, Ward famously called his shots during the 1932 World Series. It sold at Heritage Auctions in Dallas in August for 24.12 million US dollars. In today's weather forecast, we got cloudy with showers this afternoon. The temperature is now 6 degrees. And tomorrow we will get a mix of sun and clouds. So the temperature will be 8 degrees. And now moving forward for the interesting fact, I'm going to talk about this artist, Taylor Swift. Yes, Taylor Swift has made its way to Toronto for about 2 weeks for the Eras Tour. Taylor Ellison Swift is an American singer-songwriter known for her biographical songwriting, artistic reinvention, and cultural impact. Swift is a leader figure in popular music and a subject of widespread public interest. Taylor Swift is one of the world's best-selling music artists with over 200 million units sold and with over 220 million units sold and a record 7 albums that moved 1 million copies first week. She is the highest grossing female touring act, the first billionaire with music as a primary income, and the world's richest female musician. She has been listed amongst history's greatest artists by publications such as the Rolling Stones, Billboard, and Forbes, as well as the only individual from the arts to have been named the Time Person of the Year, which is the last year. The accolades, including 14 Grammy Awards and a Primetime Emmy Award, 40, 40 American Music Awards, 39 Billboard Music Awards, and 30 MTV Video Music Awards. She has won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year, MTV Video Music Awards for Video of the Year, and IFPI Global Recording Artist of the Year at least 4 times each. Then I have a sixth interesting fact about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has won 11 Grammys so far. A Grammy is an award presented by the Recording Academy to recognize outstanding achievement in the music industry. Taylor Swift is the first and only woman solo artist to win the Grammy for Album of the Year 3 times for her solo albums. Second fact is that Taylor Swift has broken an amazing 58 Guinness World Record. Sorry about that. Some of her amazing records include most viewed music video online for Shake It Off, fastest selling single in digital history for We Are Never Getting Back Together, and most streamed track on Spotify in the first 24 hours for Look What You Made Me Do. The third fact is Taylor Swift fans call themselves Swifties. The nickname is based off on Taylor's surname and is thought of by a fan. Swifties is super supportive of Taylor and are considered some of the best fans in the world. The fourth fact is Taylor Swift has 47.6 million subscribers on YouTube. Her channel, which posts her music videos, is currently the 38th most subscribed to YouTube channels in the world. The fifth fact is Taylor Swift is besties with Ed Sheeran. They even have a couple of songs together called Everything Has Changed and The Joker and the Queen. And the last fact is you can study at Taylor Swift at university. The Clive Davis Institute in New York has a course that focuses on the career and cultural impact of Taylor. Imagine if after math class at school you have an hour listening to Taylor Swift. When I come to the end of my segment, tune in for next week's news, weather, and your favorite interesting fact. This is Kevin Aruja, and it's back to Aiden. See you next week.
You know, funnily enough, this Eras tour is actually quite interesting. It's been a while, and they actually have now moved to Toronto, which is quite insane. Did you guys know that the Eras tour in Seattle, so technically the same exact tour, the Eras tour in Seattle caused a 2.3 magnitude earthquake? There were so many people in a specific area that they caused a 2.3 magnitude earthquake, which let's be honest with us all, it's not that crazy, but a 2.3 it still was registered on the earthquake scale. So hopefully when Taylor comes to Toronto, we don't have a bigger earthquake. Or maybe we'll have an even bigger one. Hopefully not, though. I want people to be safe. Amazing news, Kevin. Absolutely. I love it. It definitely gets me going, really excited. Because honestly, I like Taylor Swift, and her music is quite interesting. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I'll be honest. I've had some people not really like it, but you know what? It's each to their own. But for Jeff and for Kevin, obviously, I probably know what Kevin's answer is. But Jeff, do you like Taylor Swift's music?
No, not really, not really
No, yeah.
into it. Not really my cup of tea.
You know what? That's perfectly okay. Not everybody's gonna like it, and that's fine. What about you, Kevin? Do you like Taylor Swift's music?
Same as Jeffrey. I'm not a slightest fan of Taylor Swift, but I do support the Swifties.
Okay, that's very good, very interesting. And you know what? It makes my brain think. So I'm excited to see it. And I don't know about you guys, but hopefully all the noise that happens in Toronto doesn't travel too far away. Haha. Okay, so is everybody ready? It is time to move into our second gaming news. And actually, it's not gaming news. I lied to you. It's actually bonkers news. This is the news that's not even related to gaming, but is more on the weird side. So apparently, McDonald's world famous meat product shaped like a tiny rack of ribs is returning just in time for the holidays. Starting next month, hungry customers can buy not only the McRib sandwich once again, but they can order a jug of the sauce it's slathered in. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm loving it. So the unholy combo arrives at participating McDonald's on December 3rd. The $5 sandwich apparently isn't as delicious as it said because now for $20 more, people can pick up a half gallon of the McRib sauce. I mean, to be honest with you, the McRib sauce is just rib sauce. So technically, if you're making your own ribs, you can use this McRib sauce. But it's absolutely bonkers to think that you can buy a half gallon jug of their McRib sauce. So the McRib was first introduced at the food chain back in 1985 and was pretty gross to a lot of people, which made McDonald's turn the sandwich into a limited availability meme. And trust me, guys, every time the McRib comes back, people laugh about it. They get it for the jokes. And to be honest with you, to make it a limited time option, made it so that it didn't die off and instead makes people buy it because of its limited quantity. So I think it's a quite an interesting idea. But if you've never had a McRib before, imagine it is just boneless pork, aka pork product molded into the shape of bones, and comes on a long bun with sliced onions, pickles, and lots of sauce. So if you want to drown in the sauce, then you should get a half gallon of McRib sauce. I don't know if it's coming to Canada, but if you want to see more about it, it could be purchased online and technically will only be available online at www.wholelotofmcribsauce.com. I'm going to be honest with you, the name of the website is absolutely hilarious. And it's quite a long name, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I hope that you are interested in getting a McRib. I'm not a big fan of the McRib, so I don't think I'll be checking it out. But talking about food, next up is Logan with some cooking knowledge, and I can't wait to hear what he has to share with us today.
There, and for today I'm going. Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and for today's topic, I will be talking all about salt. Salt is probably the most well-known seasoning out there, and for today, I'm going to talk about basically what salt is, what the functions of salt are for cooking, as well as the types of salt and their applications. So, starting off, what is salt? Now, salt is a mineral that is composed of sodium metal and chlorine, otherwise known as sodium chloride. It is one of the most fundamental seasonings in the world, and it comes in many forms actually, but most commonly used for cooking is rock salt or halite, which grows in sort of like isometric little diamond crystals. Now, when it comes to the functions of salt in cooking, its primary function is as a flavor enhancer. Salt is, of course, the main source of salty tastes. It can be used to, in small amounts, it can be used to enhance the sweetness of foods like fruit or caramel. And it can also be used to counter bitter flavors. It is the natural counter for the bitter flavor. It can also help draw out certain molecules in food to help bring out their natural flavor. Now, the second function of salt is to enhance texture. Salt is commonly used in baking to tighten the gluten structure of doughs or batters, which greatly strengthen the final product. Salt also promotes the gelatinization of proteins in milk, which is how cheese is made. Basically, you just salt some milk and it basically like starts to form into clumps, and that's how cheese is made. There's a little bit more than that, but like, yeah, salt is like a very important part of the cheese making process. And lastly, when seasoning meats with salt, salt draws out moisture, which is then reabsorbed back into the meat, which helps give the meat a more juicier product. Now, last but not least, I'll go over the types of salt and their applications. Now, generally, what separates different salts apart are their size. The first one that I'll talk about, which is probably the one that most people are most associ- that most people know about, is table salt. Now, table salt usually consists of very small, very fine grains of salt, and as I mentioned before, it's commonly used in the households. Personally, as a chef, I would say that the best use of table salt is to be used for baking when improving the gluten structure of doughs and batters. I would not generally recommend table salt for seasoning. One salt type that I would recommend for seasoning, though, is kosher salt. Now, you've probably heard of the term kosher salt before, and you've probably asked yourself, why is it called kosher salt? What makes it kosher? Is it Jewish? No, no, it's not. Salt doesn't have beliefs. Now, kosher salt is basically kosher is actually a specific brand of salt, but for the most part, it generally means that the salt has much larger grains as opposed to table salt. And this allows you to give much more control when seasoning foods. Since if you were to say grab a pinch of table salt, a lot of it will probably fall between your fingers, and when you try to season your foods, like you don't really have a lot of control about how much salt falls off your fingers. So it can become pretty unevenly seasoned or like over seasoned. With kosher salt, because the salt is has much larger grains, it is easier to grip each individual grain, and it's easier to control the rate at which you season your food. Now, the last salt type that I like to go over is flaky salt. Now, flaky salt has even larger grains than kosher salt, and they usually grow in very thin but very large crystal shapes. That's why they're called flaky. Now, I would say that the best use for flaky salt is to be used as a garnish for certain dishes, like some hors d'oeuvres or something, to give it a final boost of salty flavor and maybe even a crunchier texture due to the very large grains. Now, there are many more types of salt besides the three that I just talked about, but most of them are just variations of the three. So I think that I did a perfectly fine job of just summarizing the different types of salt as is. So that would just about do it for my little lesson on the differences of salt. And so, thank you all for listening, and back to you, Aiden.
I definitely liked the joke. I don't think I fully understood it, and I was kind of, weirded out by it. But I do know how important salt is. One of my favorite dishes with salt is salted caramel. Absolutely delicious. And that's right. Using multiple different types of salts will depend on what it's going to be like. Like if you use rock salt or granulated salt or any form of salt, whether it be pink salt or that salt or this salt or many other salts, will depend on how it's going to taste. So honestly, I'm going to have to eat some salt now. Might eat a tablespoon of salt just to make sure that my salt tastes good. Anyways, thank you so much, Logan. Very important lesson about salt, guys. Keep it in mind. Don't be salty, as they say. Sorry, a bad joke, I know, but I know that salt is delicious, and I bet Jeff and Kevin, you guys love salt, right? I'm assuming if you had a favorite salt, do you have one, or do you like using salt? I think that would be a more easier.
Mm, I do like French
I like
fries, but
I
like
like
little.
I like pretzels.
Ooh, pretzels. Yeah, that have salt on it. I think that's a
Mhm.
good choice. What about you, Kevin?
For me, I like poutine, but not huge
Mm.
salt. Just little.
Okay, okay. I definitely see poutine as a very salty type of thing, so I can see that. I can see that you guys love salt, and a lot of people do. Thank you so much, Logan, and thank you guys so much for answering my questions. And now it's time to bring you quickly some community news. So, what was going on? I'm going to talk about this. Our Super Ability crew was cramped to the brim with lots of fun stuff all the way from Monday through Friday. We had our morning chat cafe where we started with connection and care, and we shared stories and laughs, and we even did something along the lines of remembering important memories to us. But also, on the early morning schedule, sometimes we had Tabata, where we got up, we moved, and we did fitness and fun that kept our energy improved. We did on Monday spices and sauces in the kitchen scene, and we really learned about a whole bunch of different things, like, for example, sauces, different types of mixing, like if you were a mixologist, and smoothies. We learned all three. And on Tuesday, we said bonjour to France by virtually flying and exploring the culture and landmarks with our amazing crew. On Wednesday, we did art club and we brought some holiday cheer. I know it's a little bit early, but I don't think it matters. I think you can do it any time of the day. And we did a lovely ornaments with light and shadow near. Thursday was mental health check-in. And it was important that we did a mental health check-in because you need to remember, as much as you can take care of your physical health, your mental health is also equally as important. And then today, on Friday, we were well, I'm going to be honest with you. Our brains were very sharp today because it was all about our Kahoot quiz. And I don't know about you, but I remember that somebody won. I can't say who. I won't tell you because you'll have to join us next week and see who wins next Friday's competition to see who will be top. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed community news. And remember this, guys, together we thrive. And by ourselves, you know what? It's going to be a little bit harder, but together we strive. And as a community, it's really rare. The message: belong, connection, and care. Those three important words. Anyways, though, I'm not going to keep you any longer because next up we have in what our crew calls the cherry on top, where you have Jeffrey with his live music.
Hi everybody! Hope you're ready to have some fun with some music. I'm playing one of my original songs called "Cookie I Love You," so hope you're ready to dance. It's a cool jig to it. I just gotta say when you look at me in a special way, I wanna love you, smell you, feel you in my mouth. Love you, cookie, I truly do. I wanna have my heart as you do. Let me, don't you want to feel my first impression? 3, 4, I'm planning more. 5, 6, love the next 7, 8. Love is real, it definitely fades. Stop, stop, and cookie, I love you. Cookie, you're so true. Cookie, you multiply my feelings for you. Your clipper bites, get my blood a thumping. South Center gets my hips a bumping, yeah. My tongue remembers your sweet taste. My brain screams, this is a race. I've got to fill my face. Let me, don't you want to feel my first impression? 3, 4, 9 and 1, 6. Love is real. 7, 8. Love is real. It definitely fades. Cookie, I love you. Cookie, you're so true. Cookie, multiply my feelings for you. so true. Cookie, you multiply my feelings for you. Your crumble bite scared my blood pumping. Soft sent up gets my hips pumping. My tongue remembers your sweet taste. My brain screams, this is our race. I've got to steal your face. Let me down, you want to build my first impression before planning more 5, 6. Love is real, 7, 8. Love is real, definitely there. Let me down, you want to build my first impression before planning more 5, 6. Love is 7, 8. Love is real, it's definitely there. Clock stop, there's no rush. Cookie, I could love you till you are oh mush. Cookie, I love you. 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 Scabba-da-ba-dee-da-da-dee-da. 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 Thank you, everybody. This is Jeff, your live musician. I'll see you all next week. And it's back to Aiden. Bye, everybody. Hope you enjoyed my song.
You know what, Jeff? Every single time you sing your original songs, I like how you add a little bit of twang to it, but I also like how you change it up a little bit. It really makes it sound alive, and it makes me so proud to see you grow as a musician. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Youth Connect. If you can, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to
Don't
click
forget
the
to click
notification bell.
bell.
That's right, Jeff, and that's right, Kevin. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. Do something fun, spend time with family, and we will see you all next week.
Next week.
Goodbye, guys.